Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Backcast, where I, Adam Upper, sit down with Braydon Ketty to talk about Batman, the animated series. And this week's episode is Legends of the Dark Knight. How you doing today, sir?
In my Batman story, he sparkles in the sunlight and can read your mind.
As I said, this week's episode is Legends of the Dark Knight. It is the 19th episode produced and also the 19th episode to air, airing on October 10th, 1998. Remember what you do in October 10th, 1998?
I believe I was there for the death of Clark M. Clifford, who was an American lawyer and presidential advisor.
Did you kill him?
I mean, legally, would I say that on a podcast if I did?
Yes.
I didn't, for the record.
Statute of limitations is probably over by now.
Yes, as an 8-year-old child.
Oh, there you go. Plausible deniability. This episode is written by Robert Goodman, John's brother. No, not really. And Bruce Timm, and directed by Dan Reba.
Yeah, so this was an interesting episode. Like, it's kind of a bunch of kids, like more or less, kind of doing kind of swapping campfire stories about Batman.
Yeah, it's a nice little change because usually, like, the only people that you see, like, in a Batman story is either like Batman and the cops or like villains and like they're like goons or whatever. And the only time you see like the general public is if they're like running away or held up in the crime by some way or some sort, really. So it's just interesting to see that deal. Like, there is like another aspect to the Gotham where it's just like the quote unquote like their version of normies, really, I guess.
What is a normie when you live in Gotham City?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so yeah,
Two quick production notes that I should add before we jump into the main recap. So, the plot of this episode is based in a story called The Batman Nobody Knows from Batman number 250, where it's three kids telling different stories about Batman, just like this. And when Bruce Timm was coming up with the original idea of this, or how he wanted to adapt it, he said he was inspired by his thoughts on Batman Forever. I was just sitting around one day at home and it kind of came to me. I was thinking about how there's all these different versions of Batman and they're all valid, but the Adam West show, all the way up to the Dark Knight in the movies, you may have a favorite version of your own, but they're all still Batman. You couldn't get any more different than the Dark Knight and the Adam West, but I came up with the idea that if you could do an anthology that showed the different extremes, it would be a fun and challenging way, and we just took it from there.
nice. Yeah, so it like starts off with like the three kids like walking up to like a news, yeah, like a newspaper dispenser or whatever, and it's like it says like the third suspicious fire this month, and they're like, oh no, look at, they're like checking out the picture on the thing. They're saying if like they got a picture of him or whatever, and instead of like looking for like the bad guy, they actually looking for like a picture of Batman. They kind of zoom in, and they just kind of see him like grappling across the skyline. He's kind of like a Batman-ish like figure against the skyline. And they're like, there he is. He looks really good. And you're like, that looks okay at best.
Yeah, this is what kids used to do, like looking for pictures of Bigfoot before the internet.
That insinuates there actually was pictures of Bigfoot.
Are you saying there weren't?
Well, I don't take pictures of my feet, so there's no big feet pictures.
But yeah, these three kids, Matt, Nick, and Carrie. Matt, as far as I know, Matt and Nick are like completely original like characters, just random kids. Carrie, I'll speak
Yeah,
later
yeah,
on.
yeah.
I
Initially,
think you know who it is.
yeah, initially it was like, I wonder if they're doing it on purpose to make it look like Carrie Kelly. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, that's it, because I was like very not so subtle, very not subtle, like a very unique look. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so they're talking about like 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 that's Batman. He's like Batman can't fly. He's like, oh, he can totally fly. So yeah, one of them is saying about how like You don't understand. Batman, he's like a giant pterodactyl beast with big fangs and talons. And he gets up on like kind of like makes shadow puppets with his hands because one of the kids has a bat signal shaped flashlight that he's like, like kind of putting on him. And he says, and when he sees a bad guy, he swoops down from the sky and carries him off. Scree, scree.
And then that carries the carry looking one is like, yeah, whatever, and just kind of almost pulls him off, and then he's just like kind of teetering and falls off, and they keep on walking.
hmm And then this Matt kid who's with them is like, he's not like that. Actually, my uncle knows Batman. And Gary's like, yeah, right. My dad works for the CIA.
Yeah, it's surprising he didn't do the usual kid thing where he's like, yeah, Batman's my dad.
Is that why he vanishes every night?
He's always going to get milk. Yeah, he always says so.
Yeah. And yeah, so she's like, yeah, like your uncle doesn't know Batman. And she's like, no, he does for real. Actually, he says that he and Robin are actually pretty funny. So this is the first story that is okay. All these, one of the things I appreciate is it's a little like almost Gotham, but with different animation styles. All these different short stories.
Yeah,
So this one is kind of in the similar art form as like the Dick Sprang Golden Age, Brave and the Bold kind of era.
yeah, because the kid says like, yeah, my uncle is a guard at the walking music center, and then it goes to that, and it's just like has like, like those pianos and like a huge fucking monster size saxophone and the like or whatever, and then I think while the guard is kind of sitting there, he obviously hears like the Joker laugh or the Joker like shows up or something.
Yeah, he hears Joker on the radio,
Oh,
who's
that's
like
right.
warning,
Okay.
like he's basically like telegraphing his crimes, like which the Joker kind of does in the beat does anyway. But yeah, he's like, oh, what did he write down here? Oh yeah, comedy is finished, and he's better to stay on his toes. To like anybody who's like gonna get in his way, and so, oh no, the guard says
He's
like
like,
better
oh,
stay on his toes,
yeah.
and
And they puck out to the kids and they're like, stay on his toes. And he's like, yeah, that's how that's like how my uncle talks. Like what?
nobody talks like that.
Oh, my uncle does.
Is your uncle real, Matt? And yeah, so one quick thing to also note here. So all the animation and like storyboarding here was like done by James Tucker, who was trying to invoke that kind of like style as like Dick Sprang, and like this is essentially it's not the first editions of Batman. Like there was definitely like a little bit darker, like pulpier kind of stuff, but like this is by the time of like the campy to vibes of like the Adam West show. This is more or less what like the comics were like.
Yeah, because yeah, the Adam West to like the Neil Adams esque Batman. Because I think the Joker kind of made me think of the Neil Adams looking Joker almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good because yeah, the Joker he busts in after throwing a like Jack in the Box Joker into this guy's face. And yeah, like Brave and the Bold, like the cartoon definitely like is evocative of these like similar styles of like the character designs because like Joker here, his how would you describe his like design here? Like other than like the artist, but like visually, how would you describe him?
I guess it was more like uh, yeah, I'm not really sure how
It's
to
a little
describe.
like you'd see it in a Dick Tracy comic, like one of those bad guys.
I guess yeah.
Yeah, like with like the wide heads and like like kind of like the
Yeah, the huge fucking teeth and stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
the big mouth, huge teeth. Yeah, I guess like what you'd see, like I guess like on like a almost like a stylized like Joker cut, I guess, or whatever. And instead of just putting on like the weight and makeup, I guess. Yeah,
Yep. And so he's he knocks the guard out and he says like oh it's now he goes around like the museum. He grabs a violin. No, he grabs a ukulele,
yeah.
and he's like plucking the string. He's like, "Mother always said I had talent."
And he's just doing like one note. He's like, bink, Bink.
Yeah. Also, this is not Mark Hamill. It's
Oh yeah,
clearly not Mark Hamill.
yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, that's one of my notes. Yeah, like it feels weird to see not have like Mark Hamill's voice coming out of his face. Yeah,
Yeah. And they do the same thing for like Batman and Robin when they show up later. It's like different voice actors.
yeah.
But yeah, so he's like plucking the strings, and then he just kind of like stands there awkwardly. He's like expecting his goons to like the two goons behind him to applaud, and he's just like,
They're like, oh,
"Up,
oh,
you
oh.
primates!"
They're like, yeah, taking a second. They're like, oh, I guess. They're like, yeah, that's good, I guess.
A little slow on the uptick there. Yeah, and so he then makes a pun about like like playing the keys and takes the guard's keys, and then he goes to go pick up like this like music sheet that's in like a display case, and all of a sudden he gets called out by Batman and Robin who showed up. Okay, so let's talk about Batman, I guess first. Batman here is wearing the classic blue and gray, and he's actually a little bit kind of like more muscular drawn than like the the Batman that we know, like from the BTAS.
Yeah, because yeah, this Batman's actually ripped. Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And Robin is like, I don't know how old this Robin is supposed to be, but he's got like puffy cheeks and no pants. We're in a
Uh,
green Speedo.
I always said like a teenager, I guess, like yeah, how he's like usually he's around what he's when he first starts, I guess. That's how we took it, but yeah, but I guess he's is kind of ageless, I guess.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they're talking about like that's the thing is like this style of, like the storytelling is very much like the comics where it's all like very exposition heavy where it's like, see, when you had mentioned about, like
Almost to like radio play-esque. Yeah,
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
yeah,
And they basically said like we knew you were going to be, hitting the museum because you had mentioned about like something to do with like Pagliacci, which is like the clown opera.
yeah. Paligacci is stealing. Oh yeah, they use said he wanted to steal the original score or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what he's trying to get from like the display case. And then a fight ensues. And okay. So Joker sixes goons on Batman and Robin. And I love how like Joker runs over to like behind a museum exhibit and he's just mugging for the camera the entire time.
Yeah, every time they hit, hey, one of his goons get hit, he's like, ooh, ah, ee.
He looks like Kevin McAllister, like yeah, I don't know how else to describe this in an audio format. Like,
Yeah, that's about it.
yeah, there's somewhere between like Macaulay Culkin and Ernest. Like, and
No, I mean, Fern.
yeah, what? Oh my gosh! Did you hear Reed's thing of like what he was suggesting about like what Ernest could be doing as next? Like Ernest,
No.
Er, Ernest kills Epstein. Where he's trying to save him from the jail cell.
Already did, yeah.
No, but he's trying to save him from the jail cell with like just being like, here's a rope, like so you can pull yourself up, and he actually cuts it off the neck. I mean, Epstein totally killed himself. For any alphabet letter agencies that are listening to this.
Oh,
And
they know he didn't kill him, so
damn it, Adam! Don't
As I
put
said,
a laser dot on my forehead.
as I said, they already know this, so it's not they're gonna come for
Now
us.
who's
For that,
incriminating who? So yeah, what happens next? Oh, it more or less leads to them like Batman and Robin like getting knocked unconscious, and then Joker's like I think I'll like tickle me ivories or something like that. And takes him to this giant piano. This piano is the size of a house, dude.
so. Yeah, if you thought that piano from Big was big,
Yeah.
those ones are like the next size up. Yeah,
Yeah, he like lays them like because it's like one of those like open half open pianos. He like lays them on the strings and is basically gonna like play the piano keys until the hammer hits the strings that they're
Yeah,
like
yeah,
laying
so he's
under.
basically like running up and down the
He is
key.
doing the big thing.
Yeah, just doing that, and like, and then like Batman tells Robin, he's like, "Roll, Robin," and so he's just like, they're both like just rolling just out of the way because Joker's like walking down the piano just about the speed as they're rolling.
Well, and as he's doing that, he whips out from his utility belt the bat chainsaw.
The mini chainsaw, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so you think it would just like have like a knife instead and just be able to do that, or like why didn't Joker take like the do what he usually does and take away the utility belt?
A good point. Yeah, even the like a lot of the Batman villains have done that in this show. It was the 60s. We were how high at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Could
There's
take some of
barely
that LDS.
yeah. At that point, there's barely anything in that utility belt. Yeah, so you probably didn't figure that there's anything anything of use in it yet.
Except the good stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the bat this is shark repellent.
And so yeah, he goes to like, hit the final key and he's waiting to hear like, like a smack or like a squish and nothing happens. So Joker's like, "Ah, what gives?" And all this time, by the way, Joker's goons have been standing on the edge of the open piano looking in the opposite direction.
He's like, yeah, Joker's got this under control, so we just gotta make sure like nobody else comes along.
It's like at that point, what are you even standing there for? Just go on the ground. Like you're like
Well,
60 feet in the air.
they've seen episode one. You gotta or like episode three. They you gotta have the high ground.
True. High ground didn't really work for them though.
It only works for Obi-Wan, so
True. Yeah. And so yeah, they get into a big like kind of fight and like I was actually kind of surprised there was no like pow wham bam. Maybe they thought they were like hitting the too hard on the nose there, but
well, after all, with the next one, like they probably could have, yeah.
yeah. Because then what happens next? They manage to like get Joker inside of like a giant like saxophone or something, and like
Yeah,
Batman blows it out.
yeah. And then like, as it's rather growling, yeah, you just start going to it, and the Joker's just like like holding his ears.
Yeah. And then like somehow he like summons enough air to blow Joker into a harp. So he's like just strung up on the bars. And it's just enough time for like the guard to like regain consciousness and he's like, "Oh, thank you, Batman." And he's like, "Yeah, no problem, old chum." And of course we're gonna go that. But then I love the kids' logic though when like they resume back to like the like main kind of like the kids talking about the story. So like your uncle said that happens? He's like, "Yeah. Why do you don't believe me?" Well, you did say that he was unconscious for most of the preceding events.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't do like a holy something something Batman in that story too,
Yeah.
with the time frame that they're going.
And so then oh yeah. Okay. So did you catch this next one? Did you figure out who this was a reference to? Joel.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, you can see they did say mention something about like the Batman Forever, yeah, because something about like the kids was like that as far as they didn't have like the like rubber muscles and like the car that like drove up the side of the building or something like it.
Yeah, this kid Joel is like standing on a in front of okay, first of all, he's standing in front of a store called Shoemaker. Like that's literally all you see on the store top. And he's got like a feather boa around him. He's like, "Oh, I love Batman, the rubber suit. He's got a car that can drive up walls and like all these like flashy outfits and stuff like that." And they're just like, "Yeah, sure, Joel." Like, like they can't even be bothered with him. And I'm like, okay, like we get it, Joel Schumacher. But the fact, like, all right, did we really have to go this low with the stereotyping? Like,
Yeah, that wasn't cool. Yeah.
yeah, like that hasn't aged well, guys. Come on. Just a, like, there's a difference between like a person's lifestyle and the just a crappy artist. Like, those
Yeah.
are two different avenues.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I don't, yeah, for some certain things I don't want to go back to the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then they notice there's another building that's just been like knocked to pieces by like the latest arson like kind of racket that's been going on. And so they go inside and what was it? Oh, they bring the flashlight with them, and this is Carrie's turn for her story of what Batman is really like, and I love this. This is where she says, first of all, Batman isn't like, like goofy and like making jokes and stuff like that. He's really serious and he's also old, like 50.
Yeah.
So, of course, she says then, and as an added bonus, also Robin's a girl. And
Yeah.
the girl just happens to look exactly like her.
No, yeah, so they actually, yeah, so they end up doing like the Dark Knight Returns story.
Yeah.
They at the end of that, yeah, because I assume you've read that before, right?
I've read bits and pieces of it and I saw like the animated adaptation,
Okay, yeah,
but like not like cover to cover. Like,
yeah, but so that's basically what they're doing because like that,
yeah.
what they're trying to, they're just telling like the end fight with Batman and the mutant leader.
Yeah, so okay. Well, before I get to the mutant leader, because like believe me, I want to talk about that. The mutants in this Frank Miller like adaptation. By the way, they had to actually reach out to Frank Miller because they were like, we don't know if like Frank's gonna be like
Yeah.
flattered or insulted that we're
What do
like
you,
kind of riffing on him.
what do you mean? Yeah, what do you mean? It's Frank Miller. What do you mean you don't know? Yeah, yeah. So okay, there's like we're going to just so he doesn't fucking start bitching about it later.
Exactly. Yeah, they were like, we need to make sure we made an effort to contact him before we do this.
Yeah, so I think because yeah, I think I probably told you, I probably mentioned this like that a couple years ago. He was actually at Fan Expo and
I think he
playing that.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I had like that was the last time I had the a room at the Royal York, and he was like out waiting in the lobby. So I just like out, and there's a lot of people in the way. So I just jet walked by where like the couple of seats are and stuff, and he was sitting there. And soon as he like saw me like walking towards that way to cut through, he just kind of looked up to make sure to see if I was going to talk to him. And I was just walking by, and I was like, "Don't worry, dude, I'm going to like randomly talk to you, man. You're a freaking crusty old man."
Yeah. And a perv. And let's face it, a little racist. And so yeah, the mutants design here, and I love how like they've kind of popped in and out of like some of the other like Batman related projects. They're these like guys with like kind of spike mohawks and like Cyclops glasses and like
Slice
leather
and
jackets.
dice.
Yeah. And then they're like, trying to like corner like Carrie Kelly is as Robin in this like abandoned house. And it's like pretty much looks like a, apocalyptic wasteland. It's really just a garbage dump.
Yeah.
But they're interrupted by Batman. Okay, so I know you know who that voice actor is.
Yeah, oh, fuck it, was it
Michael friggin' Ironside, Toronto's own Dark Side. Or as some of
Enrico?
you may know him, Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell.
Oh, that's not where I know Mecca Ironsign from. Yeah, I know him from a bunch of other stuff. Yeah,
I was so happy because I'm like, I did not expect to hear Michael Ironside's voice come out of this adaptation. But yeah, the Frank Miller style. How would you describe visually their adaptation of Batman in like this kind of format?
yeah. This is thick back, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it's the definition of barrel chested. And
So yeah, so definitely like where like the Ben Affleck Batman was like kind of modeled after. Yeah,
yeah, every day is Peck's day. And he's kind of like hunched over. He has like, like the shorter ears, like and that kind of stuff. And he's got like a like literally square jaw. It's awesome. And so he goes and like, interrogates the thug, and he's just like, he's like, take me to your leader. Okay, so then we meet the leader, and yeah, he's like this, like he's pretty much like a shirtless version of these guys. But I was like, as soon as I knew they were going to the leader, I'm like, they're not going to do the nipple spikes. Bro, they totally did the nipple spikes. They put nipple spikes on a kid's cartoon for a Saturday morning. Like, what?
Oh, it was yeah, 1998. So I guess I can at this point they can get away with it. Yeah, if it was early 90s, probably not. But
You could poke someone's eye out with those things.
well, I imagine that's probably half the idea.
Probably. And he's voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, who I is one of my favorite voice actors. And apparently
Yeah.
he's also like personally a big fan of The Dark Knight Returns. So like when he got this job, he was like really
Oh,
excited.
nice. Yeah. So yeah, I guess, yeah, this is like a yeah, yeah. If I had watched this like when it first came out, I would definitely wouldn't have gotten the reference because I hadn't. At this point, when this aired, I definitely wouldn't have had read the Dark Knight Returns because it wasn't until like way later in life. So I would have just thought it was just for the show itself until way later.
Yeah. And so he's making this big monologue about like how like, Gotham is ours. Like they think we are kids, but really we are, like we are the future or some like, like crazy, like he's on HGH or something like, and then down below. Okay. So I literally had to go to like one of the discords I'm on and say like, does anybody know what this means? The two guys with the shirts.
Oh, yeah, that was just from the from the comic. It was just
Oh
like
no, I know it's from the comic, but I'm like, is this supposed to be an inside joke? Like, is this referencing like Rob Liefeld and who the hell's supposed to be Don?
no, it's just the two guys. Just that's who those two guys are. The character names are just the
Yeah, no, I kind of figured like when I kind of looked up that up, I was like, oh, so it's based on that. All right, so what's that based on?
no, just two of the guys just being gosh, it's their pieces of flair basically.
It is their flair. You don't have enough flair. Okay, the standard flair. Come on, like. And yeah, so these guys have like two brain cells to rub together. Like they are like leader bad. He's like leader scary. Like they're freaking Neanderthals. And yeah, the leader's like just kind of going like on an oorah kind of rant. And then all of a sudden, his the torch he's carrying, the top of it gets shot off, and he's like, "What?" And everybody turns around. So
Yeah,
that's what.
this is where like the who fight is basically it's like the Batmobile is like a huge fucking tank.
Yeah,
So yeah, like fires. He's like firing a bunch of shots of at all the mutants and stuff, and then at one point he turns to Carrie. He's like, "Don't worry, rubber bullets."
and she gives him a look like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yes."
And it's that lethal strength, but it's rubber bullets.
Yeah, but they are gonna knock him on their ass, but all the better for it. Like,
Yeah, we're not worrying about taking out eyeballs if they get hit there. So yeah,
yeah,
that's their own fault for getting hit
aim
there.
for the nipples. And yeah, so uh, uh, he's like getting ready to like take on the leader, and Carrie gets out the side of it, and I love how they included like her slingshot. She's got
Yeah,
like
yeah,
steel ball bearings.
yeah, yeah. It hits the leader and gets his attention. Yeah, and then Yeah, then they have like the fight, and if this fight felt weird to not have like the inner monologue from like from the initial like animated thing. Yeah, so they because like obviously like this version of Batman's like in his like 50s or 60s, and
Yeah.
the mutant leader is obviously like much younger and like stronger. So like the initial fight, like he looks like he's winning, and then it goes into the mud, and
Yeah,
that's where
Batman is mud wrestling.
so that's where like the experience kicks in and stuff, and obviously they don't go into like detail with like Batman's like doing like a cut off his above his eye, so like I'd help like obscure his vision in the fight and like take out all the pressure points, all this stuff. They just did a quick little fight, and obviously Batman wins because it's Batman.
Yeah. And then he says the line, which is not exactly what they say in The Dark Knight Returns, but it's kind of like a modified version of it, where he says, "You don't get it, son. This isn't a trash heap. It's an operating table.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm the surgeon."
yeah.
And then for a second, I fall in love with Michael Ironside. Not for the last time either. And yeah, so then we return to the main story. Before we get to that, though, they were going to do a third one. Do you know who they were going to base the third one off of?
Uh, I imagine probably like the Michael Keaton, I guess. Yeah, would be my guess.
I think you'll like it, though. Not Michael Keaton, Denny O'Neil.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're going to go for like kind of like, I guess like back when he was, kind of like somewhat between like the campy and the dark, like, but not quite in like the Tim Burton kind of format. But yeah, and I think the only reason they would have done that is because, like, well, BTOS in itself is like evocative of like the Burton era. It's just
Yeah,
more kind of brought into like an animated, like, cartoon format.
yeah, but yeah, I would have been down for that day for a Denny O'Neil Nadia, but I
I
guess
thought you
yeah,
would.
but being I guess for a 22 minute show, I guess they couldn't have gone like a third one in there. Yeah.
Yep. So then, yeah, they're talking, and all of a sudden they see like a shadowy figure like going across the sky, and they're like, "It must be Batman." And like for the record, this person is actually flying. Like they're clearly not using like a grapple to get around.
Yeah, well, you kids in like in this area, just
Yeah.
more often than not, you're not yeah, you're probably not assuming that Batman has a grapple anyway, so it is would be like an easy mistake to make. I would think.
So then they follow him across town, and they get to this like this old like movie theater, and what happens then? Oh yeah, they like, okay, this is where I'm a little confused because they say like yeah, we should follow him. Maybe this is his headquarters. I'm like, but then everybody else seems to know about the Bat Cave. So do you think this is the Bat Cave?
It's the kids, so it's not like the Batcave would have gotten to them at this point. No, I
But
don't think.
back in Batman in the basement, that kid knew about the Bat Cave.
That kid was like obsessed with Batman though, so these are just like regular
So are
kids.
these kids.
Well, what? Well, like not to like that kid's like, extent. I didn't think so. This is like regular because obviously like regular kids will know of Batman and will have like the speculative stuff. But I thought the other kid was like was like
Little obsessive.
yeah. So yeah, so not the normal type of kid. Yeah, so
We just hated that kid. That's
yeah,
why.
yeah. So like the maybe Batman like lands on like the stage or whatever, and there the kids come in and kind of like hide like midway through like behind some seats or whatever, and then you see like the person like doing a this and that on the stage, and the kids are speculating what to do next, and then I forget what happens next.
Well, then we find out who it is. It's Firefly. And this actually took me by surprise because I thought that Firefly only showed up once in the series. So to see him like kind of reappear again, I was like, oh, okay. But then when they had mentioned arson in like the previous scenes, I was like, okay, yeah, no, that tracks. Like
Yeah,
this
yes,
is
yeah,
his.
yeah, yeah. That definitely should have been like the hint, yeah, because I think the first thing I saw was like the third fire in like in a month or something like that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that should have given it away. Yeah.
And then the kids are like, oh my gosh, it's Firefly. We should like, like warn Batman. So like that we should also mention this theater has like a big hole in the roof. So they're just like, I know, I'll use my bat signal. So, like a genius, he flashes the flashlight into the sky, waving it back and forth.
Yeah,
Like
no,
the
like yeah, only say it goes for a second, but I thought did think the same thing. Like if you're trying to hide, don't fucking
yeah, like
shine a
the kids
flashlight.
in the Jurassic Park, like, I can't turn it off, I
Yeah, but
can't turn it
yeah,
off.
but like it's on for like a second, and then it like the battery's like cut out or whatever sort of thing, so they don't see it. Then they like hit knock one of these seats or something like that, and it actually gets
Oh, I
Firefly's
thought
attention.
Firefly just saw the light. That's what I
Like
thought
oh
happened.
yeah, that or like I think as they're trying the kids trying to like get the flashlight working is like I think is when they make a noise or whatever. I think is what it is.
But and then yeah, he's like, "Who's there?" And then he's like, "Show yourself." And then they of course don't because like they're actually smart for a change here. And he throws like a flare like up in the air to like kind of see them. And then he's like, "Oh, you're kids, eh? Well, I hope you like your I hope you like your next meal fried." So then he just like said he's already like set like explosives and like like ignition, like things like set around the thing. So he just, kind of like lights it up and, like the thing starts like going up in flames. And, he's like ready to let these kids like roast alive.
No, I get it. Everyone's attention is killing a bunch of kids with fire.
Yeah. And so they're realizing like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna die, guys. We're gonna freaking die. And like Firefly is like on his way like to move out of the house, out of the ceiling. And just as he's like looking his way up, that's when you see a bat-shaped silhouette coming at him. He's like, ah, shit.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, so Batman finally does show up, yeah, and fights Firefly. I think it takes him out pretty fast, I think, right?
Well, it was a little bit of a tussle because, like, for some reason they figured we needed an explanation here because he's like, I know it was you. Well, the kid's like, it was Batman saw my signal. And then he's like, I've been following your trail, Lens. And he's like, ah, damn it. I thought Batman saw my bat signal. Yes, your double A flashlight bat signal.
Although it's on for like 2 seconds, like yeah, for like a second, yeah.
Yeah. And so Batman just says like like your insurance fraud isn't really your style, but like I found your boss and like made him squeal like a pig. And he pointed me in the right direction. He's uh like chemical or chemicals are expensive and I need the money to make more chemicals to burn shit. And so they have like a nice fight. I also like how Firefly whipped out the lightsaber thing that he had
Oh
before.
yeah, like a the fire saber, yeah.
Yeah, and Batman immediately nerfed it.
Yeah, yeah, like I had like a fire extinguisher and just put it out right away.
Yeah, he's like, we're not doing this
It's
again.
like
Like, no.
what?
And then what? Oh, what happened after that? Um, oh yeah, he managed to take care of Firefly, and the kids are like, just catching like enough of this to kind of see what was going on, and then they get trapped, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like we can't get out." And Batman, because at first I thought, is Batman even gonna see these kids? Like, does he even know they're there?
Yeah, so like yeah, so as he's doing that, like yeah, the place is burning, and then like they going around and like yeah, and they get stuck, and then he like pulls out a like a bomb batarang, throw it against the wall, and they like yells at the kids. They're like, "Go!"
Yeah. And they make their way through, but not without like having like one last look at Batman, who's like tied up Firefly and is like, like as like fires, like kind of like, um, you know, keeping them away from like seeing him completely. And okay, so then after that, like eventually the cops and the fire department arrive to the like the crime scene where the kids have gotten out safely and Batman's taken off, but he decided to leave Firefly tied up and just hanging over a flame like a rotisserie chicken.
He's like, yeah, this is what you get, Firefly. You get cooked by your own fire.
Yeah. And they're just like, ah, jeez, like this is paper. But he's gonna freaking die, guys. Like, whatever. It's like you wouldn't do this for the Joker, but you'll do it for Firefly? Like, really? Like,
Bullock tells him to pull him down or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. And Bullock is there to kind of like, lead the crime scene. And he's like, hey, so who called 911 on this shindig? And it turns out it was the kids. And then they kind of walk off, and it's like, I'm telling you, he can fly. Did you not see that? He's like, he can't fly. He's human. He's like, I don't know. I saw fangs. Like, basically, like this entire experience is like kind of like just solidified their individual perspectives on
Yeah.
Batman and who he is. And that's where I wanted Batman to say, I'm very human. I have third-degree burns on my ass.
And boys, my fist's tired from punching Joke in the face so so many times.
Yeah. Arthritis is a bitch.
So what would you give this out of five crazy stories?
You know what? I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 because I think that there's something for everyone in like the Batman fan and us all. And I like that there's different art styles because I know like as creators, that's where as fun as stuff like this is, they have to work extra hard and like put a lot more heart into it and like just kind of have like everything kind of, all firing on all cylinders. The only thing that kind of made me kind of go was like at the end there, but it was nice. Like, and I do love this. I mean, half of our jokes on this show are like like what happens in Gotham City when Batman does this, and like
Yeah,
to see like a story like that kind of taken in a more serious context, but also having fun. I like that.
yeah, I think I'll give it a 4 out of 5 myself because I said it's good to see like a different side of Gotham what's going on with that, and like the little kids just like saying like, "Hey, this is what I think was going on with that." So yeah, definitely yeah, 4 out of 5 myself. All right, folks, got that as the episode for this week. Thanks for joining us in the Batcave to hear us talk about Batman, the animated series. Next week's episode will be a special episode. We'll be doing Girls' Night Out with Rivers Langley from the Goods from the Woods. So check us out next week and listen to that. And and with that episode, actually with this episode, actually forgot is the last episode of the year. Next week's episode will be the first next year. So hopefully everyone has like a happy New Year and stuff, and you as well, Bryn. And you can follow us on Twitter/X at Beyond Backcast, on Instagram at Beyond the Backcast, and we are on YouTube now at youtube.com/at Beyond the Backcast. You can check us out there and give us a rate, review, subscribe on there, or wherever you find your podcast at Beyond the Backcast. Definitely help us out. Where can we find you on the internet, Brayden?
You can find me on my podcast, Fandom and Folklore, where we talk about fantasy movies and TV shows and the fandoms that follow them. And if you want to find out more about Beyond the Backcast, go to our Instagram, click on our link tree, and you will find a link to our Discord, the Batcave.
Yes, and you can follow me at Stump Chuckman, 'cause, that's my personal account there on Instagram. And yes, as I said, thanks for joining us in the Batcave to listen to us to talk about Batman, the animated series at Beyond the Backcast. Goodbye, good chums. Goodbye.